We are keeping track. We are trying as much as possible. As Kelechi has said, the governor has been very supportive. And when we decided to do this, it was because we wanted a government that could be a good partner and believed in what we are doing. So they've been very, very supportive of this. But we're also pushing them. We can only do so much as a Ford Foundation. There needs to be a follow-up. There needs to be a lot of work being done by the government, because the ultimate goal is to be able to increase investment into these areas, either by government or by private people, and by increasing investment, create more jobs. That's that's why we're in it, because we need to be able to create more jobs for young people that are doing this already by scaling their businesses up.
What are the gaps that could hinder this growth and investment you're talking about?
The biggest gap is infrastructure, because really, if you look at the access roads, power is one of the big problems. When we went to, same as everywhere, when we went to the power line where they make the shoes, it was a cacophony of generators. You had 10,000 people, everybody blowing their own generator. And when we spoke to the people, part of what they said was they need machinery, they need power, they need investments, they need bank loans. We met a guy that was doing T-shirts, and he does about 3,000 T-shirts a day. He couldn't get a bank loan, even with what you... So they need that kind of structure in place where loans can be done to these companies. Governments need to find a way to bring these guys into the formal sector.
Loans with good rates.
They're all informal. Yeah. They're all in the informal sector. Yes. So by creating a structure where they're brought into the formal sector, they can access those loans. Some things are being done now. The acting president was there a few months ago to set up some kind of micro, small, medium scale fund. I know the Ministry of Trade and Investment also looking at that. So we're glad that people are moving towards that. And the time is right, because we need to start looking inward. So if we can be able to provide, or government can provide that infrastructure, provide a system of funding for these small businesses, this will take off.
Kelechi, tell us about the quality of the stuff coming out of there.
It's good. It's good. I mean, it's amazing. One of the things one of my colleagues who was in Aba went there with a T-shirt that he bought in UK. It was one of those football-themed T-shirts, and they took him to a place where they were making exactly the same quality for half the price. To boot. And you see, that's the thing. Once we have the infrastructure, we have investments, we have finance. These guys are entrepreneurial. They don't sleep. They just work. They're very creative. They just need support. In fact, what they say is that there's no recession in Aba. These are their words. So they require organized encouragement, inspiration, and that could be our own Japan or our own China, whatever you want to talk about.
This could be a major source of income for the state in terms of internally generated revenues. You said, what is the government doing? You're working with the government in terms of like rebuilding some of those infrastructure.
Well, I wish we were working with them to build infrastructure, but
encouraging them to...
They're doing... Paul has said so. The governor is built. There are a couple of roads that are built. I think they're working on the access roads around the market area. I think they have a couple of other plans that they're working on.
You know why I asked this? 1992, I was in Aba, down Fox Road. Boundary Street is off Fox Road. Walk down the end of Boundary Street. It connects all the way down to Area Market. Yeah. You pass through Power Line, where the bulk of this production happened. At that time, it was really handmade production, where they'd be knocking and all of that. So I'm wondering, because we've carried news on Channel 6, our reporters have gone there, when the road into Area Market, a Jeep, an SUV, could actually vanish, passing through called a road and all of that. So I'm wondering if all of that has been taken care of to ensure that these people don't have to carry the bills on their head.
One thing about Aba is the resilience of Aba, because Aba has gone through some tough times. A few governments really did not have any investments in Aba, in infrastructure. But Aba managed to survive, and the GDP actually grew in Aba during that period when there was no investment in infrastructure. The government now is doing some investments. I would say they're doing something, and things are improving, but I mean a lot more could be done.
When you say a lot more, Can you be specific?
I think those roads are the first thing that government needs to do. Because if people do not have access to get in there, I remember when we did the summit, we had to do it during dry season because we knew that was the only time we could actually have access into those areas to see what was going on. When the rains come, you cannot have access there. So that is one. I think the power system has to be addressed. Electricity. I know there was a power plant that was built in Aba, Loji, that is yet to come on stream. I hope once that comes on stream, that will help with that system. I think that has to be addressed because most of these things need electricity. Most of these big machineries they use need steady electricity. So I think that is one more infrastructure and then access to financing and loans. For me, those are the three key things that will really make Aba just go up.
Okay, as we
Aba.
in winding down, going forward in 10 seconds.
Okay. I think it's simple. Proudly Made in Aba shows that entrepreneurial drive of Aba people. I think we will ask everybody to come and invest and support the products coming from Aba. Governments, people anywhere in this country and outside the country to come to Aba.
And for us, I mean, we like the fact that awareness is being created. We're looking at what next can be done. It's not just about creating the awareness. We also need to figure a way for these made in Aba goods to be widely available everywhere to help put that in place. We're looking at how do we use technology because now they're trying what they can do. How do we use technology to create a more global market for made in Aba goods? So that is what we're looking at next.
Well, if we all can't go to Aba, Aba will have to come to us.
Yes, that's why. That's the other point. So route to market. There are already discussions that are held with a couple of e-commerce companies that will be able to host the Proudly Made in Aba section. So Aba is actually going to be coming to us very soon.
Someone says maybe we should de-emphasize. Tunde Kozim says maybe we should de-emphasize the term Aba and stick to Nigeria. It will go a long way in enabling acceptance.
Well, I think we should be proud of what we have. Aba is Aba. I mean, why you need to make it better. You've got to be authentic. They're not mutually exclusive. Aba is in Nigeria. If Aba rises, Nigeria rises.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Kelechi Nwosu, CEO, TBWA Concept Unit.
Thank you.
And Mr. Paul Nwulu, Program Officer, Ford Foundation, West Africa. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Sunrise will be back for the home stretch. Please don't go away.